Hello and welcome. My name is Anna Marie and I am your presenter for the week. Thank you so much for being here with us from October 5th to the 9th for the first ever Youth Voice Week. Woo! Crowd goes wild. Youth Voice Week is brought to you by Sound Connections, LBA, and Wired for Music. And in this first morning session, we're going to be introducing the week, getting to know you a little bit better, for you to get to know us a little bit better, and we'll give you a flavor for what you can expect for the week ahead. So if you want to get involved, jump on Twitter and use the hashtag Youth Voice Week and join in the conversation. There'll be lots of conversations floating around throughout the day, especially at 5 p.m. We're going to have a Q&A that you can get involved in. You can also use the YouTube live chat function to share your views, and we will share your comments up on the screen and just keep the conversation going. So before we get it cracking, I want to introduce two very important people, the hosts of Youth Voice Week 2020. It's Esther and Lawrence. Hi. Esther's on mute, I think. Hello, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I'm just going to ask the questions and then I'll lip read. So tell us, I'll start with, okay, I can hear now. I'll start with you, Lawrence. Tell me a little bit about you and what you do, and Esther as well. I can't hear you. Okay, looks like we're having a slight technical difficulty, so just bear with us one moment while we get the sound up and running. If you are involved, if you are watching, then do send us a comment. I've been seeing some comments. I've got Mimi sending us some claps. Hello, Mimi. Dana, good morning. Looking forward to this week. I'm looking forward to this week too. Dana or Dana. Sunderland Music Hub. Hello from Sunderland. Hi, nice to see you. Good morning, Abigail. Looking forward to the brilliant week ahead. I am too. Hello from the Triborough Music Hub. Hello. And yes, youth isn't, maybe Lawrence isn't youth enough for his voice to be heard. That is true. That is true, you know. He is pushing it. Nice to see you all here and engage with us. Rebecca is here. Hello, good morning, Rebecca. Looking forward to a great day. Catherine is here. Good morning from Sheffield Music Hub. Nice to see you, Catherine. Thank you all so much for your comments and being engaged on this Monday morning. It's raining here in London. Let me know what the weather is like where you are at. So I'm seeing that we've got Sunderland here. We've got London here. Anna is here. Hello. One from the Orchestras for All. Oh, that's very exciting. Really excited to learn about how to put youth voice at the center of our work. That is what we're here for. That's exactly what Youth Week is about. And we've had tons of amazing interviews and content created by young producers. And we've been speaking to different organizations such as yourself, just to find out how to amplify youth voices. So this is going to be an amazing week. You're in for a treat. Lewisham Music is here. Hello, Lewisham Music. Ben is here from Open Up Music. Nice to see you, Ben. I hope everyone is feeling well. It is a gloomy day. I'm very sad that the summer just left us. Does anyone feel like that? That summer just was like, hey, bye. And now we're in the midst of winter. So yeah, we've got to deal with this rain. Who else is here? Sandcastle. Oh, it's beautiful and sunny by the sea in Hastings. Well, aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky? Not all of us have the privilege, Philip is here. Good morning, Philip. Really looking forward to this week. And hi to all the presenters and the team that has put this together. Nice to see you, Philip. Hope you're doing well. I've got Esther back. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. Are you hearing me?
I am hearing you loud
Oh,
and clear.
amazing. How are you, Anna Maria?
I'm fine. I'm very, very well. I'm just hoping Lawrence will make an appearance. We'll give him a moment. But how are you doing today? Oh, Lawrence is here.
I'm really good. And we've got Lawrence as well. We can hear you. Awesome.
Great. There we go. Live broadcast. Live TV.
This
These
is live
things happen,
TV.
right?
Yeah, these things happen. So everyone watching this firsthand, you're in the midst of this. So just let's just go with the flow and see how we go. So thank you all for joining me this morning. You two are the hosts of Youth Voice Week 2020. How are you feeling to have achieved and managed to put together such an amazing event?
Really good. It's really exciting that it's finally starting. And it's been, we've been working away for the last few weeks, pulling everything together, finding guests, booking everyone in, and the Wired for Music producers have been doing a fantastic job pulling it all together. So great to be here, great to be live.
Nice. We are very happy to be here with you. So I just want to talk a little bit about what you two do, and just introduce your roles at Sound Connections.
Go for it, Esther.
Awesome. So my name's Esther. I'm also known as Estée Blue. I am a singer-songwriter within the R&B, jazz, and Afrofusion genres. I'm also a Sound Connections trustee and have been in that role for just over a year now. And that's been an amazing experience. And in that same kind of education space, I've just finished my master's in music business management, which was an amazing opportunity. And I spent my summer doing my dissertation, which focused on the experiences of Black women in music, dealing with inequality. So I've got a broad range of interests, but music is definitely at the core of everything.
Nice, that's nice. And how have you been helping us get to this point today with Sound Connections?
It's been great to kind of be a part of the Sound Connections team and also Wired for Music in terms of co-producing some of their bigger events. And as soon as we went online in about April, I've been a part of the various webinars that's been taking place. We might have some people in the audience that recognize me from some of the Zoom-ins. We've kind of been developing this idea for a while, kind of based on the feedback we got from the earlier stuff we did in the summer. And it's just really great to see how this has all materialized and the team have just pulled this all together, because I think it's a really important time to discuss youth voice and to do it in a way that's super accessible to everyone tuning in from not only the UK, but all over the world as well.
Great to hear. And Lawrence, how about you? What do you do, and what's your role at Sound Connections?
So I'm an independent consultant. I work with the team at Sound Connections and with the Wired for Music team as well. And I'm the creator of Youth Voice Week, devised it with everyone here, and then and now curated it. And so I've been very busy pulling together the program with Liz, our executive producer, and lining it all up. And in the rest, when I'm not doing Youth Voice Week, I'm going across the arts and cultural sector, the creative sector and creative industries, consulting with different organizations, helping them to involve young people more in what they do, and doing that in the UK and internationally too. So this is in a way pulling together people from all across different sectors, different art forms, different disciplines across the creative industries, and across the world as well, because we've got guests coming up from the US, from Australia this week, which is great. Just pulling everything together into one celebration of youth voice.
Great to hear. Sorry, I didn't unmute myself. Great to hear. Thank you both, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing the work that you two have done come to life this week. So could you tell us a little bit about what we can expect this week?
Yeah, so we've got a full program which you all will have received. So hopefully you've all gone into your inboxes this morning, and that's how you've got here today. So we load up the email every day with all the links you need. So, and you get your delegate email. So you've got the morning show, and then we've got content being released throughout the day, and then at 5 p.m. each day we've got a drive time, social media, so Insta Live and Twitter discussions going on, and each day is themed differently. So we've got today is our kind of intro and welcome, and then tomorrow we're looking at inclusion, youth voices role in inclusion. On Wednesday we're doing youth governance. Got a fantastic panel with young trustees, and on Thursday Wired for Music are taking over the day and talking about co-production. So we're gonna come back to, we're gonna hear from the Wired team later about Thursday. And then on Friday's our big public moment called The Big Listen, and we're launching a survey which we're also going to tell you about a bit later, and the results of that will come out on Friday. So it's kind of a whole week of activity, different themes. You can dip in and out. You don't have to, it's not sort of sitting on Zoom all day. It's sort of very different kind of how we designed it, and it's so that you can pick and choose what's most relevant to you and your young people.
Great to hear. And before we get into the week, could you tell us what was the inspiration behind Youth Voice Week? Why are we here today?
Definitely. It's been inspired by, we've been working on Youth Voice for about 10 years, and bringing those ideas of Youth Voice over from the human rights and youth work, youth development sector. So they're very commonplace. The idea of involving young people, giving young people a voice, is very common in those sectors. So through things like youth campaigning and youth parliament. And I think the biggest inspiration really right now in the world at this point in time is probably Greta Thunberg, who, as a school pupil, left school, wrote her placard, and then started the campaign, the climate strike. So I think, and you've seen the impact that's had on the world. She's like a world leader now. So that just shows that young people, when they give them, when they put themselves out there, can change the world, and that's very inspiring to us. And I think although the creative sector is a different place, we're not all campaigners and activists as such. There's still so much we can learn from listening to young people, and a lot of the work that we do across all the art forms aimed at young people, they need to be involved in designing that and telling us what they want, and that's what this week's about. And the final thing, Anna Marie, is that we've all been locked down on and off, I suppose, for 6 months, and we've had to learn very quickly how to adapt to being online and working online and being creative online and engaging young people in a digital way. And we just wanted to have a moment, and I don't think we could have had that moment if we hadn't have all been online, because as I said, we've got people coming from all over the world, all over the country, all ages and all walks of life, and that's possible because we're doing it online. So I think it was the moment, it was the time to do it.
Yes, absolutely. This is definitely a moment where things are pivoting, and we're learning more, and we are becoming more aware and inclusive. I know you've got an inclusivity statement, Lawrence, if you wanted to share that.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is really important because as we adapt to working in the online space, we have to also adapt our practice and our processes. And so to be really safe online, there's certain things that we need to be doing. they're very core to Sound Connections and how they work. There's a safeguarding policy behind everything we're doing this week that sits behind that. But we've also released an inclusivity statement because we want everyone to know where we stand on certain issues, what we can't tolerate, what we won't tolerate. This is really a week for everyone of all ages and backgrounds, and we want that to be loud and clear. So we want our audiences to take part and to interact as much as possible, and at the same time to obviously adhere to that code of values that we've put out for the week.
That is great to hear. Thank you. I want to just pop into the comments chat to see what people are saying before we introduce our next guest. So I can see that Mimi's here. She says, greetings from Action for Children's Arts. We've got Michael from Waltham Forest Music Service. Newer Music is here. Dana said that this is way better than Zoom. Nicola is here, and YV On Demand is also here. So it's great to see so many of you here today. We've got a jam-packed week for you, so there'll be something for everybody. But next, I want to bring in Jen, who's also from Sound Connections. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Hi, great to see you here. How are you feeling today? Are you ready?
And it feels so amazing that we're here and we're live. And on behalf of all of us at Sound Connections, just want to wish everyone who's involved in making this week happen and tuning in a really warm welcome. As Lawrence was just saying, we want it to be a very welcoming and an engaging space for you all, and to really celebrate young people and all the great work organisations are doing across the UK and indeed in other parts of the globe.
Yes, great. So I want to talk to you a little bit about youth voice. Lawrence touched a little bit about it, about how important youth voice is. But what does it mean to you? What does youth voice and participation mean?
Yeah, I think youth voice and participation means different things to different people, and often means so much more than we imagine. And one of the things I'm really excited about this week is we'll hear from lots of different younger and older people about what youth voice means to them and the impact that it has on their work and their lives. The basic definition that we use at Sound Connections is actively involving young people in any decision that affects their lives. And so for organisations, that might mean consulting and listening to young people. It might be collaborating to make and create and produce work together. And it's also about involving young people in strategic decision making and governance. I think it's also important to clarify that when we say youth voice, we're including the full spectrum of ages from early years through to young adults. And then finally, it's not always literally about voice. For many young people, it's about expressing their ideas and opinions in whatever way works for them. And I know we've got Ben from the National Open Youth Orchestra with us this morning, and that's an example that really comes to mind, where youth voice is right at the centre of the way they make music together and the way that they share decisions and converse on their instruments and through composition is a really great different example of youth voice thriving.
Thank you for that answer. Esther, I just want to ask you, why do you think youth voice is important from your side of things?
It's really important, I guess, because that was my gateway into becoming a trustee at Sound Connections and diving more into youth voice and governance. I think that Sound Connections and Wired for Music alike stood out to me as an organization that really embedded youth voice into their programming. And just, to give you like a real example, they do like micro grants and commissions for young people to kind of create their own projects. And I participated in that and ended up co-producing a whole event, a day event at Roundhouse, alongside some other kind of co-facilitators. And for me, that was the first time a youth music charity ever gave us that much like power and control, and just said like, here, you know, we're here to kind of facilitate your ideas, whatever you need to make happen, let's make it happen. And, you know, from an idea that became an event. And, you know, it was an amazing moment. And I'd never witnessed that before. And I'd been engaged in youth programs from the age of like 13 upwards. So for me, that was a standout moment. And it was a moment that I can truly recognize as the first time I had a voice, if you see what I mean, in terms of being able to really action a real event and engage other young people and see an idea that I had imagined in my head come to real life. And yeah, Sound Connections has been brilliant for that. And I think that I would love for other young people and other organizations that involve young people to be able to offer that kind of voice to them.
Right there, that is such an amazing thing, to be able to have the support and to be able to see your ideas come to life. So amazing. But I want to throw a question to the audience, those of you watching at home. When was the first time that you had a say? I'll rephrase that. When did you first have a say? So think about the time, maybe back when you were a teenager, or even in adulthood, when you felt like you could truly express yourself and you were heard, and in order to make things get done. So you can tweet us at @SConnections, and you can use the hashtag Youth Voice Week. You can also pop your comment in the box on StreamYard here, but we really do want to see your tweets just to keep the engagement going. So Jen, I'll throw this question to you. When was the first time that you had a say?
Oh, totally wasn't expecting you to ask me that. So the one that's immediately coming to mind, I don't know if this is the first time, but it was when I was choosing what instrument I was going to play, and thinking through all of the different options available to me and being able to explore those. Yeah, I'll ponder that some more though.
That's nice. I like that. How about you, Lawrence?
Yeah, this is interesting. Again, it's not the first time, but it was the time when I think it's when I got, as a younger person, when I got what Youth Voice was, even though I didn't know what it was at the time. So I was involved in it was an art project that it was through my art teacher at school. And we went to, a group of us, I think we're about 14, we went to Kettle's Yard Art Gallery in Cambridge, where I went to school. And we were asked by some other young adults what we wanted to do in the gallery. And it was this really strange experience. It was like, oh, right. So we get to decide, do we? We get to say what happened. And it was, and then I realized years later that was actually Youth Voice that they were doing, and that we'd been involved in that way. And I think there were less projects back then. It's a while ago, not too long ago, but quite a while ago. And I think that things have moved on a lot since then, and now we actually have a way to talk about this. We know what Youth Voice is. We're popularizing it across the creative sector now, so that people understand it. And that was just a little moment of it, which at the time I had no idea, but it was great to be asked, and it was great to get a say. And we ended up putting on an exhibition in a gallery, which was brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would say my first time was probably when I was in school, I think maybe year 9 or year 10. And I wrote a play for English, for my English class. And the teacher was like, oh, this is amazing. You should go and do some after school workshops. And I had to write a play for it was the Young Vic Theatre. So that was my first time. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I had full creative control to write this play, tell the actors what to do and see it come to life. And that was amazing. That was amazing for me at like, I don't know how old I was, 14 maybe. So I want to share a comment. We've got a comment from Sound Castle who says, I think I had a say at home from very early on, but in education or more formal settings, probably Eastbourne Youth Council, meetings upstairs in McDonald's, trading ideas for free chips. And that's from Rachel. That's a great idea. We love some chips. So do get your comments in if you're watching on YouTube, and also tweet us at Sound S Connections and use the hashtag Youth Voice Week. So I want to say,
oh, we lost Anna Marie, I think.
And Esther for joining us. Goodbye to. Oh, am I here?
Yeah, you're back.
Hello. Great. Yeah, so I just want to say goodbye to Esther and Jen. Thank you for joining us. And want to introduce Carly from Wired for Music, who we'll have a little chat with.
Hello.
Hi, Carly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. So you are one of the producers, co-producers of this Youth Voice Week. So how are the things going on your side?
Yeah, they're going well. I'm watching things as they happen backstage, a virtual backstage, and ensuring that everything's going well. But yeah, overall, it's been a really enjoyable process. We've been meeting for just under a month, kind of working out all the different sessions we were going to have and speakers and the content we kind of wanted to cover. It was really great to kind of bring in those ideas as young people working kind of with it and being in the opportunity to voice those opinions and make those decisions. So it's been really cool, and yeah, really excited to see what the week holds.
Great. Yes, I can imagine from your end it must be so exciting, like so many things flying about and putting pieces together and doing this virtually as well. What's it been like for you, just like, I guess, being at home and having to do all of this online?
I mean, I'm very used to kind of doing live events and this kind of thing, especially with speakers and different kind of sessions in person. So it's been definitely a transition to get used to going online. But I think, as someone said in the comments, this is way better than Zoom. I think we've managed to create a more interactive feel and something like more engaging, because I think everyone's spending so much more time on their computers these days, and so at least this kind of feels a bit more of a dialogue rather than just kind of watching something. But yeah, I think so far so good.
Yeah. I want to introduce T, who's also a Wired for Music intern that you've been working with closely, just to get his perspective of things. Hi, T.
Yeah, how are you, Anna?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. I'm decent. I'm excited. Just like Ali said, it's like StreamYard and YouTube. What we're doing now, I think is a lot better than, I don't know, like a normal live stream with Zoom. It feels like, yeah, we're watching Youth Voice on demand.
I feel like I'm on Good Morning right now. Like,
yeah.
That's what I feel like right now.
The color is similar to like.
Yeah, the color. But great to have you both here. So I was just chatting to Carly about her perspective on getting Youth Voice Week up and running. So you, as an intern, how has it been for you?
It's been cool. It's been a lot of work, a lot of good work that's been happening. You know, getting in touch with different organizations, working with my colleagues to kind of bring together all of the different tools that we want to give out. Like, obviously, we've got Esther's copyright video, her how-to guide, the handbook, all of the lunchbox material. It's sick. Like, I think that what Sound Connections and everyone is doing is super important and very unique. It's a great way to present the importance of youth voice. It's fun, it's educational, and it's quality stuff.
It is quality stuff.
Yeah.
Earlier I asked, when did you first have a say? So I'm going to throw that question to you guys. So think about your answer. But I do want to answer some of the questions that we have in the comments. So Ben says for him, it was putting on a variety show production with his youth club. It absolutely felt like art production, and the first time I felt proud of something I had created. That's great to hear, Ben. Dana said, I don't think I had a say in my creative journey until I got to uni. Before then, there was a lot of you can't and we can't from teachers about what I could and couldn't do at GCSE and A level. I completely agree with that. Thank you for sharing. She also said, on reflection, much more than at that time. I'm glad I pushed through and did what I wanted at uni, especially when I think about young people starting their journeys in this climate. That is very important. And I think I definitely can say that when I was in GCSE A-level period, there was a lot of, no, you can't do this. Your grades aren't good enough. You can't go to that university. You can't do that course. So it's great to hear how people have managed to push through and do what they want, or found their voices through other ways. So Carly, I'll throw the question to you. When was the first time you felt like you had a voice?
I've been thinking of different experiences, but probably this is the most, the first kind of like important one, I guess. When I was at uni, the uni kind of had like live music sessions that they put on. There was a big music school within the uni. So that was kind of for people to showcase their talent outside of school, but they weren't happening regularly. They weren't really exciting. And so I kind of took on the managing of those events and was allowed to kind of just do it however I want, book the space, get people involved, get students from sound engineering, get the students who are performing involved, and kind of lead a team of other students to help me like bring it to life. And I was given a lot of freedom in that sense. So it was really cool to kind of be able to have like support and just execute kind of my vision. So that was cool. Yeah.
And T, how about you?
I think similar time. I'm sure I've had it earlier, but the one that's most significant would be during my first year of uni. When I was just starting off as a music artist, and essentially, rather than an organization giving me some youth voice, it was more like working together with a business that was already established, that hadn't really had the intention of working with young people. I wanted to make a event, like an open mic and live show for myself and the people in my local area to perform music live. And so I went to this music venue called Rough Trades in Nottingham, and I just came to them with like this PowerPoint presentation that I had saying, oh, this is what I want to do at your event. These are the numbers I can bring, because I was treasurer for some societies and stuff like that. So I had to network, and I was like, this is what I want to do for you guys. And then the guy, we were just sitting in front of this table, like a proper business meeting. He's like, all right, mate, we'll get you on. And yeah, after that, in like three weeks, I ran a live show in this music venue that's based in places like New York and stuff like that. And just a small me was able to create a live event. And I thought that was really good, to have that opportunity to kind of give people a platform, to put out music live in a place that didn't really have that. It was good to be able to work with other businesses and for them to respect what we was doing and how important it is to share other experiences that probably they wouldn't really get to do if they didn't incorporate me and any other young people. So yeah, that was probably my main first experience of Youth Voice.
That's amazing. I love that story. So thank you, both of you, for joining me on screen. I'll let you get back to your producing behind the scenes. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have got a few more comments that I just want to read out before we move on. So Mimi said the first time she had a voice was at sixth form college. We had to put on our own concerts 3 times a year, and that was definitely a learning curve. Nice to hear from you, Mimi. Hannah says, I don't think I was confident enough to take the opportunities offered, but I loved being involved in planning a concert after our A levels. I think that made me want to encourage those who are shyer. Thank you so much for your answer, Hannah. And thank you everyone who has shared your stories about the first time that you had a voice. These are all amazing examples. And the reason why we're here today is just to amplify young people's voices. So I'm glad that you can all relate and you will remember your first times. So I want to introduce Lawrence, Jen, and Esther again. Going to have another chat about our handbook, our youth and participation handbook for creative and cultural organizations. Hello, all again.
Hi.
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 Great
So
to hear those comments, Anne-Marie, by the way.
yeah, there's such
great. Yeah,
such great comments. I'm glad that everyone is opening up. And Lawrence, you guys are the authors of the new Youth and Participation Handbook for Creative and Cultural Organizations. It's a bit of a mouthful, but do tell us all about it.
Right, me or you, Jen?
I'm happy to go first and just say that it's the first handbook of its kind. We've been working on it for the last few months, but it's the result of years of kind of testing and experimenting and figuring out what does work with youth voice, and also sometimes getting it wrong and figuring out what doesn't work so well too. Ultimately, we really want the ethos and the practice and the impact of youth voice to become widespread across the creative and cultural sectors. And the handbook is really one of our offerings to everyone who's excited to come on that journey with us.
And what do you hope to do with the handbook?
Lawrence, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming, because we've been, developing this knowledge and expertise in youth voice over almost a decade. So, what we hope is that this will become a really useful, indispensable tool for everyone who wants to involve young people in a deeper way in their work. And I think, as I said it towards the start of the show, we're working with young people, we're running projects for young people, and they should be involved in that. They're the creative ones, and we need their ideas, we need their perspectives, we need to know what they need, what they want, what they think is possible. And this handbook takes you through a journey of how to work in that way with young people, from the very basics of, where do I even start with that? I've got a fantastic group of young people. What do I do? What do I say? And takes you all the way through to embedding it in your organization at the highest levels. And on Wednesday, we'll be talking about governance, which is about sharing the highest level of decision making with young people, with young trustees. So the handbook's designed to do that. I've actually got the handbook on an iPad in my hand, so I was going to show you a bit of it, if it works, if we don't get screen glare. So we'll do a bit of, this is sort of like digital and analog, I suppose, combined, but hopefully you can see it. How's that looking? All good. So we've uploaded it. It looks really nice. It's like you can turn the pages, which pleases me as a fan of the sort of hard copy manual. And so we take you through, and so the first section's about theory and essentials, and then we get into all of the basics about sort of the UN and where these ideas and this work came from, of listening to young people and their rights. We get into all of that, and then we sort of break it all down for you. And then section by section, you go on that journey, and by the end, hopefully you're ready to run great projects, to involve young people in your boards, to set up leadership programs, and to fly from there. And we're here, by the way, we're here to help with that. We really care about this at Sound Connections, at Wired for Music, and we want to hear what you need, and please feedback about the handbook as well. I know we're going to do a bit of interaction, so but we'd love to hear from you because we made this for you.
Yeah, that is great. Esther, I want to turn to you to talk a little bit about the training that you offer, and how do you think it'd be beneficial?
So I think Sound Connections are amazing, and Wired for Music as well, in terms of the training that they offer. So it's everything from early years to teenage years to early adult years, and beyond, actually. So it's for the arts facilitators. In terms of Wired for Music, I got trained as a Wired for Music facilitator as well. So there's those opportunities for young people who want to kind of get into co-facilitation as well. But I'm going to just talk more about the kind of seminars and accessible learning that's geared towards arts educators. And that involves things like singing, that involves SEND learning, that involves things like youth voice and participation. There's a whole section on the website, Sound Connections website, that kind of runs you through the various different events that are currently on offer. So there's a wide variety, and I think it's really important for people who work in this space to constantly have an opportunity for continuous professional development, and a space where you can kind of talk freely, and a safe space where you can share resources, share learning. And I think the thing that I love about it is that it's so up to date, it's so current, and these are things that you can action pretty much straight away. So yeah, I think those are the benefits, and I think there's just a wide variety of programming, particularly the kind of yearly events that are being held as well. Inclusivity in Practice, that's held around February every year, and it's a great opportunity for all educators to kind of come together and take specific kind of CPD training. But yeah, there's lots on offer, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's a great opportunity to feel more empowered about the work that you do.
That sounds very interesting, and it sounds like there's a lot that can be learnt that you guys are going to be teaching. I just want to remind all of you watching that you should check your emails. Please check your emails for your download links and all the information that you need for the week ahead. So I'll say thank you to Jen. Thanks, Jen, for joining us.
Thanks, Anna-Marie.
And we'll chat a little bit more about what to expect for the week ahead. So Lawrence, let's talk about youth skills. I want to ask you personally, what youth skills are you looking to develop?
Yeah, I can talk on that. I think what we wanted to do is, because just to say on the handbook, it's really it's designed to be useful for everyone. So whatever role you're in, whatever creative role you're in the sector, whether you are delivering work yourself, Esther was talking about sort of practitioners and the skills they develop, but whether you're doing that on the front line with young people, or you're in a project management, program direction role, or whether you're a senior leader or a trustee even, and running an organization, whatever role you're in, we want this to be useful to you, and that's why we've designed it how we have. We're also running specific training after Youth Voice Week. We're launching what we're calling the Essential Youth Voice Training Series, which basically takes the handbook and it brings it to life. And so that's your chance to delve deeper into it. Hopefully you'll all have had a time to digest the handbook a bit by then. So please do sign up for the training, and if you want to find out more. And so on that note, we've been thinking a lot about, well, what skills do people need? What are some of the gaps in our skill sets? We think about that a lot as trainers and specialists in youth voice, we're constantly kind of reflecting on our own practice and our thinking. So we're just really keen, and we were going to throw out to the audience that question, because we'd like to know more about what skills you need in youth voice, and because we want to just keep creating new content and kind of guiding people through their development, because there is a skill set for this. There's a mindset and an ethos that you need to embrace, but there are also skills that you need with this. So we were going to throw that question out to the audience and ask, what skills do you think, what youth voice skills do you want to develop, and what youth voice skills do you need? There it is.
Okay, so for those of you watching at home, what youth voice skills are you looking to develop? Comment below, let us know. You can also tweet us at SConnections and use the hashtag Youth Voice Week. I know for me personally, what a youth voice skill I would love to develop is just confidence. Simply confidence, because a lot of young people, not everyone is extroverted. Some people are quite shy. I know growing up, I was quite shy, even though I was super creative and had all these ideas. I didn't know how to tell people. So I think that's a great skill to develop. Esther, how about you? What youth skill would you look to develop?
I think it's just finding out more, because I think throughout the week, we've got different kind of arts educators involved, not just in music, but in dance, in theatre as well. So I think because I've been so focused in the music space, I'd be interested in finding out about some of the challenges that, dance practitioners and theatre practitioners experience, and how potentially music can include some sort of like solution for that. So yeah, I'm kind of just here to also learn with everyone else, because I really do believe that that CPD, continuous professional development, is super important. And even this week, it's the first time that we're holding and hosting something like this. So I'm learning just as much as everyone else watching.
Yes, that is great. I want to share some of the comments. So from Soundcastle said that they have been reading the guide this morning and it looks amazing. So much to embed in our processes. Thank you. Thank you for reading the guide, Soundcastle. Great to hear that you have had a look at it already. Ben also says that he's been looking at the handbook, pulling out all the really useful stuff and sharing with your colleagues. It's going to be such a useful tool as we look to develop our youth voice work. That sounds great. Thank you so much, Ben. Dana again says one youth skill that she wants to develop is youth governance. We've just appointed some new young and first-time trustees on our board. I'd love to explore how we can make their experience as meaningful as possible. That's great to hear, Dana. Lewisham Music also says that they are really interested in how youth voice translates online, and to hear any best practice on how we can make our online environments feel as open and nurturing as possible. Thank you all for your comments. Please make sure to get those in. You can tweet us at SConnections and use the hashtag Youth Voice, or you can just comment in the YouTube live chat box. We get them straight away, and it's great to see you all engaging and interacting with us this morning. So let's go back to Lawrence. Hi, Lawrence.
Hi.
And we'll chat a bit about the big listen.
Great.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah.
About that?
That's nice. So the big listen is it's so important for us to hear your views. That's why we're having lots of interaction today, audience questions. And as I said, it's so important that we all kind of learn together. I totally agree with what Esther said about, this is a week for all of us we're all going to be learning this week. The Big Listen is a survey, and we're running it. It's launched today, and we're running it all the way till Thursday at 4 p.m. And we want everyone involved, and lots of people are signed up. So we want you all to jump on the survey. It's in your morning email today, and tell us all about what you're doing with Youth Voice or what you want to do. We know that some people are at the start of their journeys, others are further along. Ambitions are, and we're going to pull it all together and present it on Friday. And Friday is the last live show on Friday morning at 11. Is all about the Big Listen. We'll share the results from the survey. We'll find out what people are thinking, doing, want to do with Youth Voice, and then we will look to the future and talk about what comes next after Youth Voice. Because I know we're only at the beginning of the week right now, but we're always thinking about the future and what this work holds. It's so important that everyone embraces this way of working. It is the future. And I think we saw that with this summer with the exam results, the U-turn, where young people got out and they spoke out and they created a change. They created a whole sort of policy U-turn. And I think it just shows you the power of this. So we'll on Friday, we'll be talking about how to harness that power and where it might lead us all, because I really think it's going to make the creative sector a better place for everyone.
So what do people need to do? Just to reiterate, what do people need to do?
Survey, yeah. So check your email. The link's in there. It'll take you straight to the survey link, and that will take you through question by question, and simple.
Yes, great. So just some.
You can always tweet us as well when you've done it. If you want to just say I've completed the Big Listen survey, I think it will really help to just drive it, because we want as many voices in there as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
to spread the word.
Definitely do.
And anyone can do the survey.
Yes. Okay. Just to go back to our previous question, we have a comment from Soundcastle who said, in terms of developing youth skills, I'd like to know more about the stages of youth voices and how to support young people on a long-term development journey, in particular with young parents, how to support and respect their own creativity. That is a great point. I think young parents do tend to get left out, so that's a good point to make. Mimi also says, at Action for Children's Art, we'd love to know what is being done with younger children under 13 to get their voices involved. So definitely check out your handbook. And
I can come in on that, Anne-Marie,
okay.
If you want a response to some of those.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think absolutely that the handbook will help with both those questions. I think it's really interesting, the question of doing this with younger children. And just to say that at lunchtime in the Youth Voice lunchbox, we're going to release it's a video. It's more tailored towards working with younger children and younger people in Youth Voice. So I would definitely check that out, Mimi. And I think this work is relevant at every age. We've actually even done experiments with baby voice, and actually sort of child-centered learning, which this is related to, is quite a big deal already. And I think any child of any age can be consulted. And I think I've heard a little bit of the feedback. Sometimes I've heard is, well, actually, what about life experience, or what about, but that's not really the point. This isn't about who knows what. It's about being curious, listening to people, seeing what they say. Children say some amazing stuff. They have crazy ideas. And as adults, we lose that ability to think more freely and more creatively. And so I just think just remember, when you're working with younger children, especially, that you're there to listen and see what comes out. And remember Greta, as a teenager, just doing all of that on her own. And then to Rachel's point, I think it's really interesting about young parents, and something that I think we'd love to talk more about. So we'll be in touch about that.
Great, that is a great answer. We do have some time for a little Q&A. So if you have any burning questions, then do pop them in the chat, and I'll answer them. So we've got another question from London Youth Choir. Same question as Lewisham Music. How can we make members feel unmuted when all our activity is online at this time? That's a very important question. Esther, maybe do you have an answer for that?
Sorry, so unmuted in a sense that they don't feel as included?
I presume so, because you can't physically go and meet people, so it might be a little bit difficult to have your voice heard. How do you make them feel unmuted in this time?
For sure. So I think the thing that comes to mind is trying to kind of reach people where they are. And also not forgetting that people love phone calls as well. Like, I find that in this, especially during this time, I have like a limited capacity for screen time. So some of the things that I like to do is just pick up the phone and have a phone chat. So I think making sure that we try and diversify the way that we're communicating, but also, like, back to what I was saying about meeting people where they are. I think potentially some people can struggle to access things online. Like, we say that it's accessible, but actually, maybe some people don't have like internet connection at their home, or they don't have the various equipment. So I think perhaps there needs to be kind of a step before online engagement to say, well, how are you able to access our resources? Can you still access our resources? And having that dialogue with your members to say what would be better suited to you. And I think it's just a case of, it's that conversation and making sure that everyone is kind of on the same page. And if there's any kind of resources that can be provided to kind of support things online, or again, picking up the phone and having a phone chat, that should definitely be encouraged.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with everything that you've just said, especially lack of internet connection and accessibility. I think that is a very important thing to take into consideration. Phone calls, very, very important. I'm not usually a phone call kind of person, but during this time, I don't want to text. I don't want to get on Zoom. Just call me. Lawrence, do you want to jump on the back of that?
Yeah, I just wanted, because as we come up to time, I just wanted to do a few reminders, if that's okay, about everything you need to remember this week, basically, because we've got a whole picnic of stuff going on. So the first one is just to make sure, if you're watching, that you are registered. Most of you will be already, but just make sure you register, because registering gets you your daily email, and the email has all the links. So just make sure you've got that. So definitely check your email every morning. The next thing is that in there are some fantastic creative challenges which have been designed by Liz and the team, the Wired team. And they're all different art forms, different types of activities, really cool stuff. And it's all on a platform called Padlet. So definitely get involved with those. They're going to be a lot of fun, and it's something a bit different for us all to be doing. Then make sure, obviously, that you tune in at 11 every day for the live show. We've got fantastic panels. Tomorrow we've got one on inclusion. We've got representation from theatre, from dance, from inclusive practitioners. On Wednesday, we've got young trustees. We've got a guest from America. On Thursday, someone zooming in from Australia to talk about co-production with Wired for Music. So make sure you join us at 11 every day. Then at 1 o'clock, as I said, there's the lunchbox, which is so loads of treats, downloads, bits and bobs and videos. So look out for that. That will go out on Twitter. And then at drive time, so 5 p.m, we've got every day a social media moment at 5, and we're doing hashtag Youth Voice Hour. You can see it there on the screen. And the one tonight is about is all curated by Wired for Music, and it's all about youth voice journeys. It's not music specific, it's for everyone, but we're going to be looking at people's journeys. So join in on Insta Live and also on Twitter, hashtag Youth Voice Hour. See you all there.
That was great, Lawrence. Thank you for all of that. Thank you for joining me, Lawrence and Esther, and for sharing all that valuable information.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie.
Thanks. And thank you to everyone who is watching from home. So this will be it from me for today, but we've got a jam-packed day ahead for you, just as Lawrence was saying. So make sure at 1 p.m. you head over to our Twitter at S Connections, where we'll be releasing content to keep you going for the rest of the day. And also Wired for Music's Instagram at 5 p.m. to hear about some of our youth voice journeys. So there'll be plenty of content for today, plenty of content for the week. Like Lawrence said, tons of interviews. We've got guests from America and Australia and all over the UK popping in. And it's been great to see all your comments. Great to see that everyone has been engaged and looking forward to reading their handbooks and learning more about supporting youth voices. And yeah, so I will leave you here. We've got what's coming up next. I'm not sure, but just stay tuned and head over to all of our social media platforms just to give you some extra content to keep you entertained. So my name has been Anna-Marie. I'll be back, I think, on Friday morning, but you'll see me throughout the week doing some interviews. Yeah, so you can follow me. Oh, here's my actually, don't follow me on Twitter because I'm always laughing at memes. So don't follow me on Twitter. But yes, have a great Monday and I shall see you soon. Thank you. Bye.